Hello friends, hope you're doing well. My name is Dr. Milind Chinde, MD Pediatrics from AIMS Bhopal. So through this video series, I am sharing few tips and tricks that help me and my friends to crack PG entrance examination in India. So guys, in today's video, we will talk about how to tackle image-based questions because now all the exams, be it the NEET PG exam, INICET or FMG exam or next that is coming up in 2023, image-based questions are now a very significant part of exam, and to tackle them is not an easy part because either you know the image or you don't know the image, and a significant portion is taken by the image-based question. Getting wrong answers is affecting the rank. So I'm going to share with you how what helped us, how did we tackle our image-based question, because we were the batch when actually it started, because I have already completed my MD, but when we started writing this PG exam, that was the year when these image-based questions were kind of introduced and they started increasing in number. So how we tackled during that time, there is one a bit of lengthy and difficult way, and there is one easy way. So I will tell you both of them. Also, I will share with you guys few pics from my journey, that how I made my notes and how I made my charts, and I'll share few images from during my time, so that will give you some idea. So guys, let's start with it. So what to know image? There is one thing that can help you understanding the image. One, basic knowledge about the that concept or that particular topic. So if you know things about that topic, you will be able to understand the image. But if you don't have any idea about the topic, this image has been given, and just you have been asked to identify. Then if you have seen this image previously, that is going to help you. So how can we? What are the factors that can help you? So first, as I have told you in my previous videos also, so there are usually the images which comes in any examination. They come from the standard textbooks, because they also want to see that whether you have gone through or you have seen your standard textbooks during your UG life, because most of the students just going class oriented. So whatever classes they think that can be high yield, so these filtered images are given. So most of the time they don't come, they don't appear in exam. But if you see those images and if you go back to your textbooks and you just go through the pages, you will see that most of images they come from the standard textbooks. So one is, but this is a bit of difficult way, and this can be, can be time taking also, because it's like a double-edged sword. It can work in your favor because your yield will be maximum with this method. You will definitely get a right answer because you are directly seeing textbook. But the bad part is it can be it can be time taking. So there are a few books I want to recommend just in short, that these books are high yield and images mostly come from them. As you know that embryology is a very favorite topic for INICET and also for NEET PG. So Langman's embryology has few images about development of very important organs like development of heart, development of portal vein, development of aortic arches. So these images are repeatedly coming in the exam. So you can just take the screenshot. You should. It's not necessary to have the hard copy of all these books. If you have PDF, you can just go through them and you can take the screenshots, and just once in a while you can revise them. So if you see them twice or thrice before exam, then they will be registered in your mind. Second very important thing is Nater's Atlas. Now you can see that anatomy questions are basically all are images. So they will give you some part of maybe some nerve plexus, and they will ask you to identify the nerve. They will give ask you to identify some artery, or they will give you cranium and you have to identify the foramen. So Nater's Atlas is a very helpful. So how you can use maximally, you have to couple your Nater's Atlas with your anatomy notes. Whenever you are reading your anatomy notes, don't just read the notes. The atlas should be by your side. If you don't have the hard copy, it's okay. You can have the soft copy. So whenever you're reading the page, whenever you are comparing with the atlas, take the screenshot then only. So whenever you are revising your anatomy notes, then you can just go through the screenshots. You don't have to go through the whole atlas again. Then there are a lot of graphs and tables and charts they are asked. So they basically are taken from the Ganong's physio. So definitely you can go through those charts. Robbins Path again is a very high book. There are a few histopathological images, stains, gross specimens that are taken from the Robbins pathology. I have again repeatedly mentioned about this book. Then there are a lot of skin images also from the dermatology. So Nina Khanna ma'am is a faculty in AIIMS New Delhi. So NICT exam has lot of images from her textbook. So if you can have that PDF or a hard copy, you can get just go through, and if you know the morphology of the lesion, even if different photo will come, you know it. That might be the possibility, because most of the times from dermatology 6 7 images also come, so that becomes high. If you see last NEET PG 2021 and also INISAT, microbiology images also have a very significant role. So you can go through any microbiology atlas which have the bacteria, their staining, and where you can just go through the images. Or Apurva Shankar Sastry sir's micro review book is also good, and now it has images also. Now, a lot of students ask, as I'm pediatrician, they ask me about pediatrics development part, like grow. So if you have a OP guy, you can just have a PDF, and just you have to go through the development part. So there are very nice images. There are all images, and different milestones are given in the form of pictures. If you just go through them, then it can again help you, because now they are not asking you at what age child learns to walk. They will give you a picture of child doing certain task, and they will ask you the developmental age. So that is again taken from the books only. About SPM, that is social and preventive medicine. So you always sometimes they will ask you about the new programs. So whatever programs are launched, so they come with the logo. So sometimes, especially in NEET PG, not for NICT, but in NEET PG, they might ask you the which logo is it, or they might ask you the program name by seeing the logo. That is also necessary. For orthopedics, Apurva Mehra sirs, they used to provide one booklet, that is Ortho Dhumdadaka. And this booklet used to cover most of the fractures and most of the images that are needed. Again, in INICT, which happened in November, there were a lot of questions from orthopedics. So majority of questions from be here, and from if you go through this, a lot of radiology questions will also be solved. And now, last but not the least, as I always emphasize upon the importance of USMLE first aid, this book has lot of charts, lot of graphs, and lot of images. So you can again go through the, if you don't want to read USMLE as a whole, you can just go through the charts and the images and the cycles. This book that is going to help you in a very good way. So this is something, guys, you can do if you have, like, if you have been preparing and you're feeling that okay, you are doing a lot of mistakes in a particularly in a area of image-based questions. This is something you can do. Few classes they have their own visual sessions. Definitely, you can attend that also, and that will be even more time saving. But if you're not planning to attend that, so definitely if you have time before sleeping, you can just go through this. I know, guys, you might be feeling okay, this will waste a lot of time, but we all have done this. It's not, it doesn't take a lot of time. It's only works in your favor. Now, if this is as I say, this is a bit of a difficult way. So what is the easy way? So this is what image I had taken. So this is from during my time. This image I have not taken today. When I was preparing for PG. So for example, I was reading about the histoplasma. So instead of going to the textbook, I just wrote on Google about histoplasma capsulatum yeast, and whatever images came, I took screenshot, because in exam you will not have one image. You can have any of this image. So I just wanted to make sure that how differently it can look. I just took a screenshot of all the images that came on the first search page, and I saved it. So just in my mind, it is registered. Okay, histoplasma capsulatum yeast that looks like this. Then also about logos. So you don't have to go and search in books. Just write on Google National Rural Health Mission and you have to search. So this will be the logo. Most of the times what they will do, they will just blur this part and they will give the logo. They will blur this part also, and they will ask, okay, what is the name of this program? Most FMG and NEET PG exam, they most of the times they ask these kind of questions. This is also easy way. You don't have to go back to the textbook to read images. You can just search on the Google. So this is what I did. What I'm showing you guys in these all next slides. This is what I had done during my PG preparation. These all are my images. So again, just say for radiology, so we have this hemorrhages like subdural hemorrhages, epidural hemorrhages. We always have confusion. Okay, because a lot of questions will be there. They will give you image and they'll ask, okay, what type of hemorrhage? So I just searched on the net and I just took a screenshot. Okay, this looks like that. So if it comes in exam, even if I forget the theory, I'll remember I have taken this thing. Again, about they will ask in NEET, especially about National Deworming Day. So I just taken the screenshot of the thing. These are all images that I had taken during my PG prep. So I had just shown you. So now this was about image-based questions. So for image-based question, either you can go through the books or you can take the screenshots and you can revise them. So you have to do it. Don't go and search for something. Whenever you're reading, then only that time only search on the internet and take a screenshot. So it will save a lot of time. And images have a better memory. I mean, visual memory is the best memory, and you recall things that you have seen previously better than those things which you have just read. So I just wanted to show you guys, this was my room when I was preparing. So I just wanted to tell you guys how you can boost your memory, and how can you avoid your silly mistakes, and how can you avoid your recall errors. If you are thinking that you are doing a lot of silly mistakes, if you are thinking you are having issues with the memory that you are not able to recall, so you have to make lot of charts if that is the problem faced by you. So it will help you in remembering. So this is my room. So this is one side of wall. So you can see there are a lot of sticky notes in different colors. So whatever there was a small things like small 4 or 5 lines that I will write in the sticky notes. But if there are larger tables, so I will make a A4 size charts. So A4 size chart, so the font will be bigger and it will help me in remembering the thing. So this was the other side of the wall. So again, I had as many as charts that I could. I had made that tip, because as I told you guys that it's not about how much you are going to remember. It's okay. Like, I mean, if you're having problem remembering a lot of things, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can make as many charts as you want. The idea is you should remember the thing. So there are things like there was difficulty in remembering the action of extraocular muscles, and then there was a brachial plexus, and then there was the agars or some cycles, and I used to put motivational quotes in between. So this is during my preparation time, so this used to help me. So whenever I used to get up, okay, I have to work hard, and I am not going to give up, and it's not over until it's over. So that's what I have written on the wall. So this is going to this used to motivate me during these periods. So don't shy away from making. Don't think that this is a waste of time. Even I thought initially that making charts will waste my time, but in a long run it is going to help you, because whenever you are writing the whenever you are making a chart, you are writing them, you are seeing them, you are reading them, and when you are sticking to the wall, you are I mean, you are going to see them again and again. And if you are going to read it loud, you are going to hear them also. So many your sensory I mean spatial senses are being used just for one chart, so you will remember it. So, and that has helped, and this is not something that only I do. Lot of students do it. If you go and see like other interviews or everything, now you will see that people, this method literally helps everyone, and this is what we have done during our PG prep. This is the third side of the wall. Again, because there was no wall left, so I had only my cupboard, so I started sticking all the A4 size papers to the cupboard also, because I just wanted to make sure that I don't forget anything. I mean, if I feel like, see, you can see how many things I was not able to recall. It's not like, I mean, there were so many things that were volatile and evaporating from my mind. So what I did is I just wrote them down, and I used to read them like 4 or 5 charts every day. So it was not big deal, and eventually I started remembering everything. So these were the small charts which I stuck to my the wall which was close to my bed. So that, because I used to sleep like, why these was close to my bed. So these are very important points, like small, very related points. For example, type of vaccines, the vaccine strains you can see. You can see here the classification of the drugs, like under which groups they are. Or you can see what I have written here is about type of like mitochondrial DNA versus nuclear DNA. So this is something, I mean, about the cycles, non propagative cycle, cyclopropagative cycle, cyclodevelopmental cycle. I mean, there are 3 cycles. So I used to forget them. So I'll just make a small sticky notes, and this was close to my bed. So even if I read a one sticky note, and before exam I would have read it like 5, 10, 12, 20 times. So it helps in recall. So guys, you have to do everything that is needed. Then whenever I'm reading, so these all images are during my preparation time. This is not something that I have prepared today. So if, for example, germ layer derivatives, or like we have a lot of cycles in biochemistry. So this is amino acid cycle. So I used to take a photograph immediately. Like whenever I'm on that page, I used to take a photo. And when I used to go to sleep, I'll just go through once in a while. Someday I will read charts. Sometime bored, I don't want to read charts. So I'll go through these images. So I have already read it, but now it helps me in revision. I'm going to revise it later also. But just having a glimpse on it, it just helps you remembering things better. So this is what you have to do, guys. If you have a problem that you are doing a lot of silly mistakes and you are forgetting things easily, this is how you can make it better. Then about like anatomy, this is the nasal plate. So I used to feel okay, I'm forgetting the thing if it comes. So I just took the photograph. Then on the right side, you can see the types of mosquitoes. So we have these images also we used to have identify the mosquito. So instead of directly taking a picture, one day I was feeling very bored. So what I did, I just planned to. That time I planned to draw them myself. I okay, I'll draw them and then I'll remember it better maybe. So I did that, and these visuals were fixed in my eyes. That in exam I could see. Even my family members, they used to remember this chart because they're seeing it every day, and that is actually what helps you. Then about, for example, this classification of neuron, that is something about coding of DNA. Then the scores, RTS score, TRIS score, then what is coachalization, and these are different surgeries. Then classification and staging of renal cell carcinoma, Wills tumor classification. I know that I'm going to forget it again and again. So I just used to write them. Nothing. See, I have not written the details, just the name, just the heading. Because when you read the heading, you remember the subheading and you remember the paragraph that was under it. So it was always in front of my eyes. So these are about the brachial plexus, then about the base, these triangles in the neck, then about branches of the portal vein. So this is something. What are the PDE inhibitors, different type? Because they are going to ask you this. So whatever I felt like important and I am forgetting it, so I used to follow it. Then there were some students there asking me about, sir, how were your GTs and grand test score and how did you perform? So guys, I don't have a lot of, because it's long, it's few years back, 2 3 years back. So I don't have a lot, but I just could find few images. As you can see in my previous videos, I have given a lot of sample timetables, and you guys must have understood that I'm very fond of making a timetable. So this is a timetable on the right, which I used to follow during my PG preparation, and I used to write and this is again, I'm saying this is what I have done during my preparation. So my timetable used to start at 8 a.m. reading USMLE first aid first, then followed by previous year MCQs, lunch, then notes. I used to read theory, then power nap, then again notes and dinner, and then the end of the day, previous year MCQs. So as you can see, so this is PG exam was not easy for me. I mean, it's not something that I cracked in the first go. So I had to work on my things. So this timetable is when I gave my last attempt, when I got selected. So I realized that I am making a lot of silly mistakes and I have to work on those. So you can see that I gave more emphasized on MCQs. So I started my day with MCQs, and after reading USMLE first aid, I started my day with them because I had read notes so many times. I just wanted to add this USMLE first aid to my prep. So you can see that day used to start with MCQs and end with the MCQs, because I had realized by that time that to avoid silly mistakes, I have to solve more MCQs, and that is key. And as I have written at the end of this timetable, that we have to stay disciplined. One thing you can recycle is waste. You can't. Okay, I had to read. You can't. So one thing that you can't recycle is wasted time. We have to get up and make everyone proud. So that is something I had written then, and I used to, it used to remind me that okay, I have to keep working. So this was the one test I had given. So I think I got 214 out of 300. We used to have a paper out of 300 questions. So this is one I could get. Then there was a DAM CBT that I had given that year, and I had got 907 rank. So guys, again, I'm telling you that you guys asked me about how was my performance. So see, my rank was 907, and DAM CBT happens well before it's like almost 1 or 2 months before your final exam. So you have a time to work on your weaknesses. So this exam was given by a lot of people. Like as you can see, total 25,600 students wrote this exam. So I got 907 ranks. So I was very happy that okay, this is a very good rank if you consider among 25,000. Because as I told you in the last video, the people seriously preparing for exam will be only 30 40,000. Even if 1 lakh people are writing, the people who are seriously preparing are about 1 lakh, about 40,000 people. So I was very happy getting within 1,000. But this is not something that I took it to, like I was not like okay, I'm now happy, I'm going to get a good rank. What I did is, you can see in the next slide, whatever questions I got wrong, I took again the screenshot of those questions and I worked on them. Okay, these are my weak areas and I have to study them and I have to work on them. So that is what I have been telling you in previously also. Don't use this grant test or DAM CBT to know what is your rank, but to assess your weak areas. So did it help me? I mean, all images, so many charts I made, so the timetables I made, the grant test I had given, and then I worked on the weaknesses. Did it help me? Yes. So there was a day, I call it my day. So I received my result. I was ranked 123 in AIMS exam. And on this day, 29th May 2018, I received my offer letter from AIMS New Delhi exam section. I have been allotted the AIMS Opal pediatric UR seat. That was the happiest day of my life. And guys, I'm telling you, I had my struggles. I had to work hard for 3 sessions, and I had to give my everything. But I one thing I did was I did not give up. I think that is the reason I ended up being in AIMS. So guys, this is all that you need to do to improve your memory. And with your hard work and dedication, you can definitely achieve your dream. So guys, with that, I wish you all the best, and I hope this helps you. And take care.